glasses, so I can't see any of the baseball signals you guys give out.
Hi, we're here today to discuss the worst kept secret to becoming a star on YouTube, how to understand and engage your fans. So my name is Molly Templeton. I am the Director of Talent and Audience Development at MyDamnChannel.com, and I'm here with Beth Hoyt and Grace Helbig. And can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, I'm Beth Hoyt, and I host a daily live show, My Damn Channel Live, every day except the one day a week that Grace does it, and I have a vlog, Beth and Show. I'm an actor and comedian in New York City, and I do a weekly stand-up show as well called Big Effing Deal. And yeah, so I'm kind of new to YouTube. It's been about 6 months I've been with My Damn Channel, but I've learned a lot. I'm going to tell you guys everything that I've learned.
Welcome, friend.
Thanks,
to you
Grace.
too. Hi, my name is Grace Helbig. I go by Daily Grace on the internet. I have a daily vlog called Daily Grace, and I host My Damn Channel Live once a week. And other than that, I'm also an actor and comedian, and I perform at the People's Improv Theater here in New York on an improv team called Borealis every Friday night at 8 p.m. $10.
Okay, cool. Can you guys talk a little bit about what your fan bases are like on your places on YouTube where you live?
Sure, yeah, definitely. The demographic that the Daily Grace vlog has is primarily teenage females, roughly like 14 to 18-ish, and they are devout and sweet, and they love One Direction. Yeah. And they are, they're sweet.
Mine's kind of the same, except on My Damn Channel Live, it's a much more neutral base, and it's males and females, teenage to 25.
Yeah, there are about 18 to 34 on My Damn Channel. Beth's vlog is a lot more female, and she does a lot more female-directed content on her vlog, so she sort of hits the same demo that Grace does on her vlog. Okay, cool. So can you guys talk a little bit about how you know your demographic, how do you connect with them, and how you know what they're into?
I mean, mainly comments and what people like and dislike, and you can tell when they're into something, I want to see more of it, and when, and also they'll suggest great ideas, different like impressions that I should do for vlogs, and I'm like, yes, thank you for that suggestion, I'll take you up on that.
Take some of the guesswork out for me.
Yeah, exactly. So helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I use Tumblr and Facebook as a way to ask people what they want to see on the vlogs, and by using a viewer's suggestion, it makes it more interactive. They feel like they're part of it. They feel like they're helping you create something, and it means so much to them that they feel like they're involved in your world. It's already such an intimate space, talking in your room or wherever to people you don't know, that asking them and using their suggestions makes it even more intimate.
Yeah, and on My Damn Channel Live, so we're interacting live with the comments and pulling up tweets and comments throughout the show, so we can really tell immediately when people are into stuff, and we play games a lot that involve their participation and them to send in comments to help us, and they love that, and it's really fun because then that's a part of the segment of their show that we don't have to write, because they do it for us live, and that's really fun, and it's just really cool to see when we have like tons of comments streaming in to pop up and when they're into it.
Yeah, also the internet, surprise, surprise, is not shy about telling you what they hate about what you make. And it's a great way to find out what people like, what they don't like. They're very adamant and they're very honest because the anonymity makes them feel powerful.
Okay. So something I think is really important about engaging with your fans is hanging out in the same places that they are on the internet. We're talking about YouTube specifically. Can you tell us, I mean, we're Grace fans, we're Beth fans on the internet.
They love, I mean, that's the thing, they love all social media. Kids these days, I mean, I don't know the exact statistics on who uses YouTube, but I'm assuming that it's primarily teenagers who are so influential, and that they're growing up with YouTube already in existence. None of us here grew up with it when we were born. It came into existence as we're adults or teens, and we didn't have phones that had everything on it, and these kids are born into the world with access to this little machine that connects them. So social media, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, VU, Ustream, Livestream, all of those sites are where they hang out because that's their culture. That's where all their friends are, and that's where friends that they've never met are.
Right.
So yeah, I try and keep an active Daily Grace Facebook page and an active Twitter handle. But I also try and keep my Twitter handle a little tweeting about things other than what's happening in my video. So it gives them a reason to follow me on Twitter. If I was just tweeting about stuff that they had seen in my video, why would they be over there and interested in that and just be duplicating things that they've already been looking at?
Cool.
I agree with that, and using the different social medias a little bit differently each one and putting different posts and pictures and tweets on different things. And also, this might be off this subject, but we can tell what the audience is into. They're so aggressively passionate about the things that they're into and not. And like if we have a celebrity or a guest on that they're into, like they know more about that person than I ever could. It seems that they know, because they research and they read so much.
Yeah.
So their questions are often really well informed. So it's cool to know that if we have someone on who's like in TV shows they watch or music they listen to, that they're going to be really involved with it and not just kind of vaguely know who it is. But it's also neat to introduce them to people. And like, you know, we started off with this idea, or I thought we have comedy guests on, big celebrity David Cross and Michael Showalter, and these kids don't, or the teenagers, a lot of people that watch don't necessarily know them, but it's great to introduce them and then give them a bit of the world that they're involved in. And so it's neat to know how passionate they are about things, and then like show them the things I'm passionate about, and a give and take, and we all learn together.
Yeah, it's so true, because we do have a lot of comedians on the show that they're not familiar with. But then the one day that we had Bella Thorne on, who is a Disney actress and has over 1 million Twitter followers, our show's numbers like went through the roof, and we were like, oh, this is where they all are.
Right.
They love Disney fans. And so it was an interesting way. A lot of her fans didn't know about us, so we were able to introduce ourselves, which fits into her demographic perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Move on from that. Can you talk a little bit how you give new people access to your content? Like, how do people get to know what Daily Grace's brand is, like, immediately? How do they know who Beth is immediately?
Well, one thing that Molly taught me, being a YouTube savant herself, she is that specifics really matter, and it really helps to be able to latch on to someone's personality like immediately. And I've noticed from the people at successful YouTubers that I've watched before I started this, like Grace and Weezy Bader and community channel, and people just that have like 5 specific things about them that you can tell, their favorite food or their favorite movie or something they really dislike or don't like. It can be really simple and superficial, but just knowing that they're passionate about specific things helps you to engage with them, even if you disagree, as long as it's like, oh, I'm interested in this person, even if we don't like the same movie.
Right.
So just finding specific things that you really like or dislike, as simple as they are. So I've come up with there's 5 things that I started off with that are, I love cereal, and I talk about it a lot, and it's so simple, but it works, and it helps somehow them to break the superficial level of getting to know me a little better, and then we get deeper.
Yeah, I always find that on YouTube, and just with people who are sort of under 30, which is what the loyal rabid YouTube fan base is, the people who are going to subscribe to these ladies are all pretty young, and they all kind of just want to be part of a club where you all like the same thing. So like Beth's fans and Grace's fans all feel like they're part of this group that all just talk about Grace and talk about Beth and hang out every day in the chat and do that sort of stuff. But they also feel that way with you guys. Like when you talk about Breaking Bad, they know that Beth likes Breaking Bad, and that's something we have in common, and oh my God, we can be best friends.
Yeah.
And there's so much of that mentality on YouTube, I find.
Yeah, it's true. They want to, all they're trying to do, and the only reason they're watching is because they want to relate to you in some way, shape, or form. So giving them specific things that they might have in common or might be getting introduced to on your channel. I talked about Bailey's one time. I didn't particularly love Bailey's, but that took off and became a thing that all of these kids were tweeting me about and messaging me about and being like, I tried it for the first time, it's great. And I was like, are you over 21? And now it's become like the thing. People have sent me Bailey's in the mail. They've seen me at conventions and have given me Bailey's. And so I have a lot of Baileys.
Pick the thing that you really love to
I
have
know,
them explode over.
And my stomach really can't handle that much Baileys. That's so much dairy. But it's great. The same way that Ellen dances on her show. We all know that Ellen dances. We all know that Rosie threw koosh balls into the audience. Like these little, seemingly insignificant things, people love and they pick up on, and it brings them back.
Cool. Can you tell everybody a little bit about how you turn, you know, just someone who like clicked onto your video while they're surfing around YouTube into a subscriber? How do they come back every single day?
Well, a few different ways. If they enjoy you, obviously they will subscribe to you. But the simplest thing, and it sounds so dumb, but just a pure call to action, asking people to subscribe, telling them when you'll have content available for them, and asking them to subscribe so they never miss it. It just is a little trigger, and it reminds them. And all of the top YouTubers, you'll see this through everyone, they will always remind you to subscribe to their channel. Yeah, and it seems so really insignificant, but the one day I did it, my analytics like spiked, and it seems so dumb, but it's so simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works.
We could talk about Supernote a little bit. I think the one of the really neat things about Grace's fans specifically is the high engagement level. I think it's 5 out of 100 people take an action in response to a Daily Grace video. So they'll either comment or like or dislike or favor or share it or subscribe when they see her content. And I think on average they watch about 5 of your videos in one sitting. I think that's where it is right now. And that's so crazy to me that like you can tell people to do something and they will just like take an action in response to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's super cool about the power of YouTubers, and something that Grace is doing right now is a Supernote competition where what is it? Your fans have to make a video response? Yeah, it's a Supernote competition. It's started by these YouTubers named Rhett and Link, and basically there are teams on YouTube that are, the captains are YouTubers like WheezyWader and iJustine and Rhett and Link and the SourceFed team that's under Philip DeFranco. And you hold a note, one single note as long as you can, and then you ask people to leave video responses of them holding a note for as long as they can, and the team with the cumulative seconds of note held wins. There's no money rewards, there's a trophy that looks hilarious, and there's just a ton of pride that's up for grabs. And these kids are leaving these notes, and it's so funny because it just seems so silly. And watching hundreds, literally probably 1,000 kids have left video responses with notes. And we're in second place, and Dan is not on fire, he's kicking our butt. But it's just amazing, and then they feel like they're on this team, because we are literally a team, and so they feel connected and involved and part of a little tiny subculture. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's so powerful that like your fans are so dedicated that they would like take up the time to pick up a camera. Yeah, and that's what's neat about YouTube. A lot of them they don't even have YouTube accounts. They created YouTube accounts specifically so that they could make a Supernote response video, and it's really crazy. And they're not getting anything in return, tangible things. They're not getting anything, but they're getting the feeling of acceptance in a community. Right. Cool. Yeah. I guess we'll go back to live then, since that's something that you both have in common. Can you talk about engaging live and how that feels, and what kind of impact that has on the fans?
It's so cool. I mean, like I said, we also have an interactive set, and people can come in, and so we play games with them, and then they can affect the show, or just comment and like go. We have a pin the tail on the donkey thing on the set, and once they said like go play that in the middle of the show, we did that, and it's just like then they changed the show, and it feels really great to have that response and go back and forth and feel like we're all in the show together doing this thing. It's really nice, and I mean, it's all I've known in the YouTube world is to do that live stuff. So it almost feels weird doing my vlog weekly, because it's like, what do you guys think right now? Like I need to right now what's happening. Are we okay with this? Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I guess we'll round up with talking about just a few of the bullet points about how you can stick to the tone that really works on YouTube to become a YouTube star. And we talked about transparency a little bit already. You want to talk about that? Yeah, you just have to be yourself. The audience, teenagers are so smart, and they'll see right through you if you feed them nonsense. And so being yourself and having opinions and points of view that are specifically your own, it resonates with them. Yeah, they'll come back. Totally, they can tell. You just need to be genuine, even if it's a heightened version of yourself, or I mean, that's what reads better, but to be live and to keep their attention before they go to another tab. Yeah. So But just to be honest, I can tell, like, when I'm answering live comments and stuff, I can just tell when it hits, when it's like, I can make a joke or completely not answer a question honestly if it's a really funny joke or something crazy. But they do often just want a real answer, even if it turns serious for a minute. So, just,
right.
Yeah.
And I think above that, we already talked about it, like staying consistent, staying reliable, staying true to your voice that you've established.
Yeah.
And yeah, trying to build loyalty over time instead of like going out with a hit. You never want to aim to make a viral video. You want to build over time.
Does not exist.
Right.
You can't just make one. You can't set out to make a viral video and make a viral video.
It's all about the subscribe.
Yeah, it's loyalty.
And consistency and routine. Grace does such a great job with doing the daily routines of like different things, and knowing what you're getting each day of the week with the videos is really cool. I think that gets people coming back.
And when it's not there, if I have technical issues or I'm traveling or something happens and I'm not able to upload the video right on time, they will let me know because they feel a sense of like I've let them down. Ultimately, they're just trying to be your friend, and if your friend says she's going to show up to your party and she doesn't show up, then you feel sad. And so I try and show up to their parties every day.
That's great. Okay, well, thank you for talking today.
Thanks, Molly.
And thank you to Pivot for having us.
Thank you, PivotCon. Yay!